Brilliant, yes. Boom, baby, indeed.
Amazing. I'm well, Lewis. How are you?
I'm well, yes. It is rainy Stoke-on-Trent. There are some people from the gas company outside digging up the road, so if you hear any suspicious sounds of digging, that's them, and not me disposing of a body.
Lovely.
So that's nice.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so just a wee sort of disclaimer today. We were going to do The Boys, but we're not now. So we're gonna do that next week for reasons that are myriad and complex. So we're gonna do The Emperor's New Groove today.
Could you get more tonally different from The Boys to The Emperor's New Groove?
Well, I mean, it's about extremely powerful people and the consequences of
power. I suppose it kind of is about
sort
that.
of.
Maybe John Goodman and oh fuck, what's his name? Plays Cusco.
David Spade.
Maybe David Spade. Yeah, maybe they've got like cameos in The Boys that we don't know about.
Homeland.
What's John Goodman up to nowadays? He did 10 Cloverfield Lane. Has he done anything else since?
Yeah, he was in a BBC show called Black Rising Sun, I think. I haven't seen it. I hear it's good.
I see.
But
10 Cloverfield Lane, Monsters Inc.
Oh yeah.
The Connors, whatever that might be.
I don't.
Roseanne, The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, he's in The Big Lebowski. He's really good in The Big Lebowski.
He's in the greatest movie of all time, B-Movie.
Fucking, it's what's his name? Is it Jerry Seinfeld that's in that?
Jerry Seinfeld. I think it's Jerry Seinfeld that plays Barry B. Benson.
Yeah, I think I'm sure he's in it.
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld. Patrick Warburton's in that as well.
Oh, he's so good.
He is. Patrick Warburton only has one voice that he can do, but by God, he is not letting that stop him. He has done so much work with that voice. Like, compare Joe to Kronk to Ken in B-Movie.
Yeah.
They are all have the same voice, and yet I can't get enough of him. He's hilarious.
It's such a unique voice, I think.
It really is.
Hey Peter. I can't. It's impossible to do, really, because it's so deep. It's such a deep voice. But anyway, before we get into Patrick Warburton's voice, let's spin the fabled wheel.
Before we cover all of Patrick Warburton's filmography that he's ever done.
Exactly. Okay, here we go. Harry Styles' dress.
I see. You told me this was going to be a hot take.
Yes.
I wasn't sure whether to expect a hot take in the traditional sense or an ironic hot take.
Well,
I know very little about Harry Styles' dress. He was on the cover of Vogue.
He was.
Is that the one?
He was. He was on the cover of Vogue, and
okay.
As you do, and he was wearing a dress, as you do, and
okay.
People had a problem with that. Apparently,
I see.
A few people wanted manly men to be brought back. We've lost our way, apparently, if you wear a dress on Vogue, and they wanted to return to the hyper masculine times of the past. And I just thought,
because of course no man has ever worn a dress before Harry Styles.
No. I mean, you go back into European history and the sort of manly times that they covet. Like the male leaders were like wearing heels and like makeup and really what today would be considered feminine outfits, and it's like I just can't take anyone seriously that has a problem with.
And that's my one fact about high heels is they were invented for butchers to wear them in abattoirs, so that you weren't like trudging through blood and
really
guts all day.
That's so good.
They were invented for it, so they'd lift you up off the floor.
I mean, just for the majority of human history, powerful men have worn either robes or things that we would consider to be feminine today, and these people lose their shit over wearing a fucking dress. Yeah. It's so stupid, and I have to say, anyone that's angry about Harry Styles wearing a dress really has not got their priorities straight. in any way,
Yeah,
shape,
if
or
you're
form.
angry about Harry Styles wearing a dress, please stop listening to this podcast.
Yeah, please do. You're not gonna like it.
No, I mean, the thing is, to be honest, if you have a problem with Harry Styles wearing a dress, you're probably a lot less left wing than we are. So it's a surprise you've got this far. To be quite honest, the amount of like horrendously left wing things that we say. If Harry Styles wearing a dress is the first point at which you've got a problem, then I'm quite astonished you've made it this far.
Yeah, I mean that would be a bit weird. Like every other thing, you're brilliant, and then Harry Styles, if he wants to wear a dress, should be able to wear a dress, really, without any people getting hysterical about it. What? Those goddamn commie sons of bitches.
I think, yeah, I mean, my sort of point of view on it is, does it really matter? Harry Styles can wear what he wants to wear. I don't really mind. I think it's ridiculous that anything is broken up into arbitrary categories.
Yeah.
Be it clothes, or food, or whatever it may be. Like, there are situations in which a dress is more useful than trousers, or when, right, I know we're going a little bit on a tangent here, but the one that really gets me the most is food. When food is divided up into arbitrary, confusing categories.
Yeah.
Because it's like, breakfast food. Okay, breakfast food is, and then it's like, right, well, cereal, toast, pancakes, bacon, eggs, I suppose. But then it's like, well, why? Why is that the case? And so, well, that's what my parents always did for breakfast. We always had toast with jam on it or whatever. Okay, but why? Do you know what I mean? If you are the kind of person that just blindly accepts the order of things without thinking, okay, well, why?
See, when,
do you know what I mean?
when someone says to me, when I ask them why they're doing something, and their reason is it's tradition, then you're discounted right away from me. It's like, well, okay, well, what that means is you don't know why you do it. Everyone that you know just does it, and you haven't questioned it. So okay, fine, do what you want, but I'm not getting involved in any of that nonsense.
I mean, I agree with you completely. I think for me, I choose my clothes based entirely upon two things.
Go on.
Thing one is the number and size of the pockets on the thing.
Nice.
The more pockets and the bigger they are, the more I want to wear it.
Yeah.
And also just sort of comfort.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wear something that deliberately makes me incredibly uncomfortable. The majority of the time, I just wear. In fact, I think I only have black jeans with enormous pockets. That's essentially all I wear. And then I have like sort of big flannel shirts with big pockets, because the amount of things where it's like someone will hand me something and it's like, just hold this for me. Yeah, I can. And then I've just got loads of pockets for the crap. But it has to be comfortable, and it has to have pockets, and that's my only criteria.
I agree. I think it's very silly that people are gendering clothes and saying this is for the women folk and this is for the male folk. It's so fucking stupid. Folks, take it from us. Wear what you want. Wear what makes you happy. Wear what makes you comfortable. And if anyone says it, just tell them to fuck off. Honestly.
Yep.
Stupid bastard.
100%.
Anyway, that was my hot take. Not really a hot take. I think it's quite a sensible take. Actually, it's just quite a. Just wear what you want. Who cares? You know.
Say something about.
Do you hear what Danny said in the podcast? He said that people should just wear what they want. Fucking Jesus. Cancelled.
Fucking get him.
Cancelled.
The thing is, I think if you're the kind of person that approaches these any of these situations without any kind of logic or critical thinking, perhaps you could do with a healthy dose of logic and critical thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always welcome to having my opinions challenged, but I do think perhaps we should just approach everything with like a healthy dose of, okay, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right.
Yeah.
Maybe I should find out some more information first before I make a choice.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I agree completely. I thought he looked quite good.
Well, there we go.
To be honest, I thought he looked quite fashionable.
Really,
I was like, nice. You know?
Harry Styles Vogue? I couldn't spell Vogue there. Vogue cover. He's wearing a... Oh, okay, yeah. He's wearing a dress. Yeah, that does look pretty good.
There's got to be someone out there who has no problem with him wearing a dress, but just thought the dress looked bad. And they're like, Jesus, do you see Harry Styles? And then these other people are like, yeah, it was terrible, wasn't it? Imagine wearing that. I know, it was shocking, wasn't it? Yeah, imagine a man wearing a dress. No, the dress was, it was just the dress was shite. It was so distasteful. It was so unfashionable. He should have worn a gold one, really.
To be honest with you, what I'm thinking, looking at this picture, is he must be cold.
I'd be cold. Yeah.
Because it's November. It's the end of November. It's almost December. I'm thinking like he must be cold. I'd be
Depends
cold.
where he is, really.
Yeah, maybe if he's in like Italy, he's in sun-dappled southern Italy, and he's doing this quick photo shoot, and he's about to go off and like go to like an Italian Sunday dinner, and he's going to have like a tortellini and focaccia, and maybe then he'd be nice and warm. But if he's doing it in like blustery England, I imagine he'd be cold in that situation. I don't know where Harry Styles lives. I would imagine either London or LA.
Where do you live?
Where does Harry Styles live? If this comes up with an address now. He splits his time between the States and the UK. He's currently isolating in LA. Oh, well, I'm presuming he did that shoot in LA then.
Yeah.
So it was probably quite warm. It's hot in LA.
It's the same temperature as Mordor, LA.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like Mordor's not that hot then.
Well, maybe. I don't know how hot LA is. Maybe it's like on its hottest day. It's like Mordor.
Okay, LA average temperature in November is the high is 23, the low is 12 in Celsius.
I mean, I don't know how that was. I don't know how that was calculated. I don't know if Tolkien just put it in the back of the book. Just.
Mordor temperature versus LA temperature. Well, this is just a screenshot of what the fuck's going on here? This is just a screenshot of the Apple weather app. Temperature of Mordor.
What? Is that a place?
I have no. Well, no, because it's the Eye of Sauron. Is like
the
icon,
that's
instead of there being like a sun or some clouds or
like
something.
Big Ben. That's like the tourist spot. Barad-dûr.
Here we go. Climate models show Mordor as hot as Texas.
Oh, right.
Okay.
It's hot as Texas, or hot, or just the same temperature as Texas.
I'm not sure. You might have to bear with me. The climate of the Shire is similar to Lincolnshire and Leicestershire.
Oh.
The climate of Middle Earth is similar to Western Europe and North Africa. Mordor has a hot, dry climate with little vegetation, similar to LA and Western Texas. This is on SeanRadcliffe.com. I've no idea who Sean Radcliffe is.
No, I don't. I don't either. Will they? I mean, it must be a bit hotter than LA. It must be a bit hotter because it has a fucking volcano in the middle of it.
That's true. Well, it's the San Andreas Fault's like off the coast of LA, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Harry Styles, he's doing that photo shoot in a dress.
Yeah, sorry.
Somewhere
Harry
between
Styles.
12 and 23 degrees. What's the middle of 12 and 23 degrees? That'd be 18-ish.
Yeah, 18.
In fact, no, you'd probably be alright at 18-ish degrees.
18-ish.
I'd probably be alright.
Ish. Yeah.
Ish. Thing is, I find I'm just always hot all the time. So maybe a dress would be optimum for me to maintain an average temperature.
Maybe you should start wearing one. Maybe you'd actually quite like it, and maybe that's what's happened for Harry Styles. Maybe he's put it on, and he's just never looked. He's like, Jesus Christ, why isn't everyone doing this? And just never looked back.
Why am I not living this way all the time? Yeah, maybe.
Why do we always pronounce celebrities' names? Like, why do we always say the first name and the second name?
Well, it depends. Like, I wouldn't say Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. I'd say AOC.
Yeah. I know, but you wouldn't say You wouldn't say Alexandria, would you?
No, but I wouldn't. I also might say Representative Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
Or member of Senate. I just don't know what she is. Is she a member of Congress?
Yeah, she's a congresswoman, yeah.
Oh, I'd say Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez? Yeah, that's her surname. Yeah, that might be what I'd say then. Sorry, my name, her name came into my head because she was like on the Harry Styles Google image results because she's defended him, I think.
Quite right. Do you know she was on a H-Bomber guy's stream when he was playing he played Donkey Kong and she joined. And his reaction was so good. He was like, shocked. He was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Imagine being at such a bizarre point in your life that you're streaming a video game on the internet, and like a respected politician comes and joins your stream.
Amazing.
I don't know who the UK equivalent of AOC would be.
I don't know.
I don't think there are any sort of dynamic left-wing politicians in the UK. At least I can't think of any.
We've got Keir Starmer, who's
yeah, he's certainly something. Any.
I don't know. I'm sure if you went back enough, you'd find someone.
Dynamic left-wing UK politicians. Well, what's this search going to pull up? Okay, this is an article from 2013. 7-day retweet networks of UK MPs. What the fuck is this shit? Oh, Jesus Christ, that's far too dense to even consider. The Liberal Party after Brexit is not about left and right. I'm fairly sure it is. Interpreting Thatcher, no thanks. Okay, well, apparently there are no dynamic left-wing UK politicians.
No. I mean, look, it's just copium.
Hang on, has AOC got a Twitch channel?
That'd be funny if she did. That'd be really cool if she did.
Bloody hell, she does.
Does she?
Yeah, she does. Twitch.tv/AOC.
When was the last time she posted on it?
3 days ago, she was doing an Among Us.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
God, even the politicians are more ahead than us, Lewis, with this Among Us thing. I mean, we're debating it. We're like, should we do it? Should we do it? And AOC's cranking out these fucking. God's sake.
To be fair, can you imagine any UK politician you want to play Among Us with?
Absolutely not.
Imagine playing Among Us with Boris Johnson. I mean, Christ.
I see. You need to find out who the chap is that's... Oh, yes, I see. Fucking shut up, Boris, and just play the game, right?
What a bell end. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to come out and say it. Fuck the Tories.
God, mask off. Mask off.
I think there's only so long I can talk about politics. Because we do talk about politics a lot on this show. And
we may
even in this episode, we're talking about Emperor's New Groove. But yeah, we try and talk about it, but keep it non-partisan. But bloody hell, I think it's fairly obvious where our political leaders.
We may as well cultivate our audience early. Do you know what I mean? We may as well just make it clear. Jesus Christ, I do agree with you. Fuck the Tories.
That's the one.
God, I feel what a weight has lifted from my chest, just in case anyone was confused about where
confused that we might be Tories.
Yeah, or even Tory sympathetic. God, that was a struggle.
It was
Jesus
a struggle.
Christ.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, you know what? This has been coming for a while. Fuck the Tories, but also, I think fuck this current crop of Tories that we've somehow ended up with. Like Boris Johnson, he seems to just the only thing he really gives a shit about is lining the pockets of his mates. As much as I disagreed with Theresa May's policies and politics, at least she was doing what she thought was right.
Yeah.
She seemed to actually be doing things that she wanted to do. But Boris Johnson is just doing what it's in his vested interests to do.
Yeah.
Also, I've never met Rishi Sunak. He might be a lovely bloke. Probably not, but he might be. But whenever I see him like talking or in the House of Commons or something, I always have this instinctual sort of guttural hatred of him. Because he combines, for me, the worst aspects of both a banker and a politician.
Yes.
There's something about him that I just hate, and I can't put my finger on it. I have no idea what
It's probably his overwhelming arrogance to the arts industry for me.
Perhaps it is that.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, after all, Dan, your next job could be in cyber, and you just don't know it yet. Fucking hell.
They'll just need to retrain.
Rethink, reskill, reboot. That's the thing. Oh, fuck you. Jesus Christ.
Oh God, we could go on for days about this. See what I've done? I shouldn't have
start like a side podcast called like Question Time Into the Void. Or something, where we just
yeah, I mean
ramble about PMQs that week or something.
Yeah, I mean.
And nobody would listen to that. Everybody would think, what the fuck is this?
Nobody. You know, there are actually quite a few political streamers now.
I would imagine
I think more and more people, just in general, whether you're left or right, are becoming more vested in politics.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings in that, but it's happening. So,
right, I don't know if you have read this. This is my final point on politics for today. But at school, we always used to talk to our teachers about politics during the times of the election, and they would say, "Well, I'm not allowed to tell you who I voted for," and then they'd say whatever. They'd answer whatever question it was we asked. Did your teachers ever do that?
Oh yeah.
Which I think is utterly bizarre. Why would you? I think it's ridiculous that you would ever try and cultivate a situation in which you deliberately avoid talking about your politics.
Yeah, I mean, it depended on which teachers. My history teacher wouldn't tell us, because he said he didn't want to influence anyone's political opinion. But my English teacher was very vocal about how far to the left they were, and they we were once talking about I think it was I can't even remember, but she basically said that critical thinking is something that the right lacks. So she made it abundantly clear to everyone there where she stood. But I think my RE teacher, who was fucking such an arsehole. He was as homophobic as they come. And yeah, he made it very clear where his political standings were as well, and they weren't very agreeable to the likes of me and probably you as well.
I would certainly imagine so.
But
I think there are certain situations where it's like, if you ever find yourself agreeing with a massive racist or agreeing with a massive homophobe, perhaps it's time to reevaluate your political beliefs.
I think if you ever get to that point, you go, am I doing the right thing here? Maybe take a step back, reevaluate my options. Jesus Christ. But Jesus, yeah. So that's
So that was Politics Corner for today, which we somehow. What did we start talking about? Harry Styles wearing a dress on Vogue.
And that's the thing, because see what's so annoying. See, we're talking about a human being who's decided to wear clothes, right? And it always devolves into politics, and it always does, regardless of who's talking about it. And that is such a sad thing, that it naturally branches on from there. Everything is just so. Everything just has to be an issue now.
Yeah, I think it's because it's a well-known fact, I'm sickeningly left-wing, but I think from my point of view, it's that a lot of modern right-wing policies, it's not a difference in opinion from a left-wing, from sort of the equivalent left-wing standpoint. It's a difference in morality.
Yeah.
Things like being pro-choice or being anti-choice. In my mind, that's not a difference in political leanings. That's a difference in sort of morality. Yeah. To make the choice to deliberately deny somebody their choice for their body and their bodily autonomy, then that's just incredibly amoral. Incredibly, from my personal standpoint, that's a horrid thing to do. So, I think that's what it comes down to. Is in a lot of ways, this sort of, in my mind, this sort of right-wing, anti-moral standpoint, you get to a point where you start to consider human beings as objects of value or objects of worth.
Yeah.
So you might consider Harry Styles wearing a dress to increase or decrease his value as a person, in accordance with your other political beliefs. But of course, that's not a political belief. That's a moral belief, which is, in my mind, abhorrent. But it is the norm for a lot of people, which is disgusting, but a fact
I
of
agree.
life.
It's just fucking. Just let people wear what they want to wear. It's like, it is never. See, the people that complain about this sort of thing, they have never experienced this in real life. They've only seen it on Twitter, and it's like, it's so funny how it's like, it's just comes across as like the worst thing that's ever happened to them. What?
Yeah.
A man in a dress. Do you know what I mean? It's just
I
so
know
fucking.
exactly what you
It's
mean,
so
yeah.
fucking stupid. But you know, what can you do? I wouldn't have anything to laugh at if these people didn't exist. So that's the only caveat. But yeah,
I'm not quite sure how to react
fucking
to that one.
screw the nut guys. You know what I mean? Just Jesus Christ.
Well, I think we can all agree. Fuck the Tories. Now on to the Emperor's New
Yeah.
Groove.
Let's stop talking about politics and let's just start talking about the emperor. Oh. Let's stop talking about selfish people at the top of power and let's start talking about the Emperor's New Groove. Okay. The Emperor's New Groove was written by David Reynolds and it was directed by Mark Dindal and it is starring David Spade, John Goodman, Eartha Kitt, Patrick Warburton and Wendy Malick. Malick?
I don't know. I'm going to Google it again now. It's because through time you've gotten like better at reading names out that you've written down. Emily, what is it?
Malick?
Wendy Malick.
Yeah.
I'd pronounce that Malick.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck, I relapsed there, Lewis. Jesus Christ. Do you know what I mean? Do you want to go backwards with that? Do you remember like a couple of months ago? It took me about 8 minutes to get
oh god, that always fucking drove me insane because you will have googled this film at some point in the past and copied down the word, and now you're reading it back entirely unable to do it. It's like, how has this situation transpired?
It's as if my hand
it just blows my mind.
My hand just is different from everything. It just scribbles names down, and then I try and read it back, and I'm like, what did I write? Jesus Christ. Do you have an opening statement?
I do. This is an absolute classic, which I was not aware of at all until my wife introduced me to it. I didn't watch a lot of kids' films when I was a kid, and this is one I'm sad to have missed, but glad to have actually finally caught up on. It's charming, it's witty, it's funny, it's inventive. I want more films like this.
Yes. A fun, humorous, animated film that critiques the selfishness that afflicts the powerful and the privileged. Really, really good. Really enjoyed it.
Good stuff.
Aye.
Right, have we got some CRQs then?
Yeah. It takes a few years after you're a child to realise what a cunt Kuzco is. You know?
100%.
I don't
think
think I would have realised it at first what an absolute arsehole this person was when I was younger. But now, when I watched it for the first time, I was like, holy shit. David Spade does like arrogant, uncaring dick really well.
Yeah, when he just chucks that old man out the window because he threw off his groove.
Yeah, and he's not really actually angry. He's just sort of annoyed. It's just because he's so used to getting his own way. It's just a slight annoyance. You know, the consequences of that will be thrown out a window. It's like he doesn't get angry a lot. It's just, you threw off my groove.
It's almost as though if you grow up incredibly privileged in a society where there are also lots of unprivileged people, perhaps you'll have a skewed perception of the world.
Maybe
that's the case.
I don't know about that one.
On a slightly more light-hearted note, I noticed a similarity between this film and Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Oh, really? How?
There's that bit in this where the old man that got thrown out the window is talking to Patcher, and he says, "Beware the groove."
Oh yeah.
And of course, the vicar in the graveyard, "Beware the moon." And that just really tickled me when I realised it.
Maybe that's a descendant or an ascendant, I guess. An ascendant of the priest and Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
A predecessor, an ancestor, yeah.
Yeah. I said ascendant, didn't I? Would that work?
I don't really know why you did.
Would that work?
I have no...
Because a descendant is someone who's after, so an ascendant must be someone who came before then.
The ascendant is the astrological sign that is ascending on the eastern horizon at the specific time and location of an event. I suppose it already has another meaning, so it can't be ascending.
Oh well. The ancestor then. Okay. There is nothing better than Patrick Warburton with a high voice.
What do you...
I defy anyone not to smile when they hear Patrick Warburton with a high helium-like voice when he's talking to the angel and devil version of himself. It's so fucking good, and it's so strange.
Look at what I can do.
He's like, I'm not sure that's relevant. No, wait, he's got a point. What?
I do absolutely love Patrick Warburton. He has such great comic timing.
He really does.
And even though I've never seen him actually physically act in something, I feel like he's really good at physical comedy in a weird way. It's this strange thing we kept hitting with the Aardman films. It's physical comedy, but there's no actual physical bodies doing the physical comedy. No. Like the best one I can come up with is when Kronk's doing the skipping ropes with two of Patch's kids.
Oh yeah.
And he's got the ropes either side of him, and he's like swinging them round. But who is on the other end of those skipping ropes? Has he tied them to a wall? Is there somebody else stood out there, like twirling the skipping rope round? And then they all swap, and him and Isma are like jumping up and down in the skipping. Oh, it's just bizarre.
It's just it adds a unique flavour of mystery to the film.
It does.
Who could have done this?
Indeed.
I love how the squirrel's eyes when Cusco's in the jungle get more and more psychotic as that wee pin gets closer to the balloon. It's like, oh, you scorn me, eh? You turn me away.
Oh, the squirrel does make me laugh. It's one thing I do want to know is where did it learn how to make balloon animals? Is there some kind of jungle balloon school?
Where did it get the fucking balloon?
That's true. Hang on, can you hear that?
What?
So it's workmen outside digging up the fucking road.
No, I can hear a sort of.
Yeah, that's that. They've got a little jackhammer out there.
Is that what that is?
Where did he get I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. There is naturally occurring rubber found in the sap of some trees, but even then, I'm reaching a bit.
Lewis. Yeah. So. Yeah, this squirrel has gotten some rubber sap and formed a balloon. Is it? Yeah, because it's ancient Mesopotamia that they're in, isn't it? I'm guessing.
Well, according to this description, they are in the jungle. Oh, thanks. That's really fucking.
Yeah. Just said.
Incan Emperor.
Incan. Oh, right. So, okay.
Incan. Yeah.
I get you.
I'm gonna have to Google the Incans.
The Incas now.
Inca is pre-Columbian America.
Right, so it's South American.
From the Peruvian highlands. Yeah, South America.
Yeah, lovely. I hear it's hot down there.
I would imagine that's why Harry
wearing
Styles
a dress,
if he goes to the Incan Empire.
That's why he
decided to go to the Incan Empire. But if he was in the Scottish Highlands, maybe he'd want to
and everyone in did the Incas wear robes?
Probably. I don't really know. Incan traditional clothes.
Let's be real here, folks. Robes are just dresses, by the way, with sleeves. Just.
I've got an illustration, everyone. Yeah, I'd call these dresses.
Yeah.
Skirts, if anything. They're sort of above the knee.
Yeah, well, there you go. So that proves my point even more.
It's good for heat management because, there's more airflow, I suppose. Yeah, good for heat management. That's my final answer.
Yeah, well, everyone nowadays wears tight jeans, tighter than anything, when it's so hot. Do you think people wear jeans in LA or Texas?
Probably. I feel like in LA people are probably quite obsessed with fashion, so they probably wear whatever's fashionable.
Yeah, but don't a lot of them wear just
shorts
and go to the beach and that? I'm generalising a lot. Probably. I'm sure that LA is a bit more sophisticated than that.
A bit more sophisticated than just half a dozen people wearing shorts and surfing.
Yeah, just at the beach. Yeah, so they don't work there.
Walk at the beach every day. I've got a question. What would the best animal have been to turn Cusco into?
Oh, a flea.
Yeah, and then put the flea in a box, and put the box in a box, and smash it with a hammer.
I think Cusco was lucky when he sort of came across it's Poncha, isn't it? Pacha.
Yeah.
I thought it was Poncha. Another sort of variation on the dress.
I think ponchos are more of a jumper because they're kind of for your torso, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're quite long, aren't they?
I guess so. I've never really worn a poncho. I'm gonna have to Google fucking
I
ponchos
thought it was...
now. We're doing a lot of googling this episode, everyone. Ponchos. Poncho is an outer garment designed to keep the body warm. Come on. Yeah, kind of long, sort of hip length. But looks.
Yeah, well there you go. See, I'm fucking hitting all the good ones today, Lewis. The Scottish kilt.
Yes.
Literally, there's a slur called that says jock. That is literally like the stereotype that all Scottish people are these big, husky, beefy men roaming the hills, and they wear skirts. So it's like, oh god, dress themed today.
Sorry, the way you said roaming the hills, that really puts quite the image in your head. It's of just like herds of big burly men just roaming through the Scottish Highlands, like fields of heather and stuff, and they're just wading through it in kilts. It's quite an image. They're all on their way to the distillery to make some more Scotch whiskey, and they're all like striding through.
The kilt was invented by, I think, an Englishman.
Oh, yeah. Was it?
It's another thing. It's like
nowhere
where our customs are made. It didn't cut. I could have worded that so much better. Like
tradition. Have another go. Go on.
Traditions in countries. No, wait a minute. Give me a minute. Let me think about it. Ancient.
There we go.
Ancient traditions that you associate with specific countries often hail from completely different places.
Hey, we got there, everybody. Yeah, I suppose so. I've never really given it much thought. I don't really give traditions much thought in general.
Quite right.
Like tea. I suppose tea. That's like a British tradition. That's like an Indian or a Chinese.
That's right.
thing,
yeah.
Supposedly the invention of tea was because a bloke was just drinking like a cup of hot water, and then some leaves from a tree fell into it. It was like, oh, this is all right. This.
Oh, wait, is that
genuinely?
Is that true? Or are you just joking?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's true. No, that's like the legend. I don't know I think it's impossible to prove that it's true or not.
Right.
But yeah, that's the legend.
So everyone just drank hot water, and then just a leaf fell in.
Presumably, yeah.
A couple of herbs fell out. It was like, oh my god, woohoo!
That's bloody lovely.
I mean, tea on its own isn't nice. I don't think. I like it with honey or sugar.
I don't drink much traditional black tea. I have like if I do have tea, I'll have it with something extremely sweet.
Yeah.
And I'll have it with no sugar, no milk. I'll just take it black. Like if I have a slice of cake, I might have some black tea.
Black tea? That sounds dangerous.
It's quite nice. I quite like it. It's not as intense as coffee. It's sort of bitter, but in a nice way.
A nice bitter way. I've never bitter and nice have never been something that I've associated with each other. I've never been a nice bitter taste to that.
Well, yeah, but then I suppose a lot of my tastes, I quite like bitter things like whiskey and beer and coffee. They're all quite bitter tasting things that I quite like.
See, I don't like. I'd have a drink of whiskey. I won't have a drink of whiskey this year because I want to try and more for the aesthetics, if anything. I want to be seen as someone who drinks whiskey, but I just fucking hate it. I just can't get the taste right in my mouth. But I don't like coffee, and I don't like dark chocolate or anything like that.
Oh, I like a bit of dark chocolate.
It's always milk chocolate for me.
I know what you mean. It's don't get me wrong, I can inhale milk chocolate at a rate of knots, but I do quite like dark chocolate. There's something very sort of. I mean, it tastes a lot like coffee.
It does, yeah.
Well, properly made coffee, instant coffee is like a crime against God, but properly made coffee is something quite magnificent.
Didn't I try it at yours?
Yeah, you did. You said because you were doing your hardcore
Oh yeah, I'm
diet,
doing that again, by the way.
Yeah, you mentioned, and you said that for breakfast, it's shite. And you said for breakfast you just wanted like a small cup of instant coffee. I was like, no one comes to my house and drinks instant coffee because I would never. I think that's just unnecessarily cruel. Yeah. I think to a number of people. So I made you a little espresso, and you went, I suppose this is probably meant to be nice.
Yeah, that's maybe one of the only traditions that I respect. Like if someone says to me, no, we don't drink in this house, or we don't smoke in this house, or we don't drink instant coffee in this house, I'd say, yep, no problem. There's a story. There's a guy he was a magician. He's a famous magician. I can't remember his name. And there's a journalist called Christopher Hitchens, who was
I think I'm aware of him. Yeah,
notoriously big drinker, notoriously sort of outspoken and very sort of belligerent. And he was invited over to this magician's house to watch a film, and he brought over this bottle of Jack Daniels. And was outside, and the magician doesn't have any drink in his house at all. And he was stood at the door, and he was like, "Yeah, I've never drunk in this house, and I've never had alcohol in this house." And Christopher said, "Sorry, I don't want to offend your religion." And he was like, "No, it's not really that. It's just I don't have any alcohol in this house, and I don't want any alcohol." And Christopher Hitchens said, "If I come in, will you stop me?" And he said, I don't know. And he said, "If I try and move past you with this drink, are you going to stop me?" And he went, I genuinely don't know. And Hitchens put the bottle down and gave him a big hug, and he said, "I'll get that on my way out." And they had a lovely time, apparently.
I mean, yeah, I think the reason that's a sort of I was going to say a respectable tradition, that implies that there are traditions that shouldn't be respected, but
there aren't.
The reason that
there are.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's true, but my point is that if somebody says to you, "Oh, we don't drink in this house," or "We don't smoke in this house," or whatever it might be, there's usually a reason why. Yeah. Of like, we don't drink in this house because such and such that we know is an alcoholic. Or one of us is a recovering alcoholic or something, and so you might say we don't drink just because if we don't have it in the house, it's not anywhere near. And so we don't smoke because my grandfather had lung cancer, and so we just don't smoke now. It's just not something we accept in the family. So I'd say, all right, well, there's a reason for that. You're like, do you know what I mean? You can sort of understand it and accept it.
You're just like, yeah, okay. It's just courtesy, really. It's just like, you know, it's just a nice thing to do.
Yeah, it's like I think that's yeah. I mean, yeah.
I have a question.
Hit me.
What would you do if you were emperor of the world, or wherever wherever in the Inca Empire it is?
If I was emperor of the Incas?
Fine. Say you were the emperor of Britain.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I really don't know.
See, I don't either. I asked myself this and I was like, fucking hell, what would you do? Like, I would be too afraid to do anything. I'd be like, I could build that. Oh, but what if they don't let... Oh, okay. Maybe I'll just sit. I'll just have a wee tea break. or a cup of hot water until a leaf falls in and I'm like, oh! Revolutionary!
Ooh, wow! But I think the thing that I'd be most drawn to doing would be trying to sort of... Are we presuming it's Britain as in modern Britain? As in someone comes to my house in a minute and says, "Hi Lewis, you're now the emperor."
Yeah, let's say for whatever reason, today, tomorrow... Let's say tomorrow morning you get a knock at the door and it's an aide and they say, "You are now the emperor of Great Britain and Northern Ireland." And they take you to Buckingham Palace. They've booted the Queen out and all the royals and her estates and all that and all the money and all that's all yours now, and Parliament has been dissolved and you hold absolute power in the country. What would you use it for?
Well, I would first of all, I'd donate all of my money to charity because I don't need that much fucking money. Nobody does. And I think the thing I'd be drawn to is bolstering the NHS. Yeah. Like, I think the NHS is a magnificent thing, which I could go on about that for hours, but my point is, I want to see the NHS do well, and it's not doing well because people are withdrawing funding from the NHS.
I agree.
And so I want to see it bolstered and improved. So that's what I would do. I would bolster the NHS, and I think I'd be drawn to sort of helping out state schools, helping them have teachers famously have an utterly appalling wage, and teaching assistants and just school staff in general have not great wages. So I'd be drawn to sort of paying teachers more and sort of helping out sort of at-risk kids in schools and stuff like that. That's what I'd be drawn to. Those would be my first sort of things that I'd go for, I think. What about
That's
you?
Lovely. It's actually quite inspiring.
I would buy myself a golden jet ski. And then
it's a living.
It's a living.
I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably. It's so unfathomable. I'd probably call you. Probably Lewis, mate. I don't know what I'm doing here. Going to use a hand with this. I wouldn't. I'd make. Do you know what I'd do? I'd make Buckingham Palace just open all the time.
So people can just wander
People
in.
can wander in and just do what they want.
I see.
Really.
I wonder what the proportion would be. I mean, obviously, as soon as you open it up, you're going to get a lot of tourists.
Yeah.
But after a while, I wonder what the proportion would be of tourists versus people who are just really lost. People who are just in central London, and they're just like, oh, that looks like a big important building. Somebody's sure to know how to get me to Euston Station if I go in there. Yeah. And then they just through accident more than anything, they just haven't come across anyone in the process of walking through the palace.
No, I don't know. I think most people know what Buckingham Palace is, even if you're not from the UK.
Yeah, I suppose that's true, yeah. It's an iconic building.
Yeah. If it was I don't know. I'm trying to think of another building that isn't as famous, but still quite important. Big
Ben?
Yeah, but everyone knows Big Ben as well, don't they?
Yeah, I suppose so. Greenwich Observatory?
Yeah, there you go. That's one.
Yeah, okay. I think another thing I'd do after I sorted out the NHS and the schools, I would try to immediately institute a way that I can get voted out. Because
yes!
I would hate to imagine a situation in that's one thing I particularly disagree with is this concept of a hereditary power.
Yes.
I utterly loathe the idea of me being all powerful because it has been decided so by God.
Yeah.
That's just grotesque to me. And then it gets passed down to my children and my grandchildren. So
I agree.
I hate that idea. So that's what I would institute of those three things. I think, to be honest with you, the one thing I would think is I'd want to do something, anything first. I don't care what it is. Well, I mean, within reason. But I think if you just sit on your arse and wait for other people to do stuff for you to react to, then you're always going to be on the back foot.
Yeah.
For the rest of your reign as God Emperor Daniel Kerr, you'll be on the back foot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I'd just be like, right, okay, let's give more money to the NHS. Let's take money away from this. Let's do these taxes. I think you just want to be the driving force behind everything. Otherwise, the grinding wheels of bureaucracy would never turn.
Yeah, I agree. You would just give all the money to people that need it, wouldn't you? And just keep maybe, I don't know, keep 500,000 for yourself or something like that. Even that, maybe 50,000 for yourself, and just give the hundreds of millions to people that actually needed it. Just put it into social programs and that.
Yeah, that's sort of what gets me is the Queen obviously has all these sort of classical residences. There's Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle and Balmoral, and there's all so many of them. But
countless.
The thing is, well, why does the Queen need Balmoral? Well, she needs somewhere to go on holiday. It's yeah, but I don't go on holiday because I can't afford to go on holiday.
Yeah.
The Queen has all of that money, and okay, let's just say, for the sake of argument, she provides an essential service to the UK, which we utterly need, and as part of that, she must go on holiday. Let's say that that's the case.
Yep. Okay.
Why does she need so many holiday homes? And why do they have to be so incredibly grand?
Yeah.
What's to stop her just buying a flat? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will never understand the psychology behind having such an excess of stuff. I just don't get it.
Like even from like a selfish perspective, like, I wouldn't want an excess of stuff because I'd forget about the stuff that I had.
Yes,
and you'd lose track of it. I mean, I think at the moment in my life, I've pretty much got everything I need. I'm quite lucky, and I'm quite privileged in that respect. But I wouldn't want to then get a huge fucking house, a fucking palace, because I wouldn't be able to fill it with the shit that I've got. I don't have enough stuff. I'd need to buy more stuff for the sake of filling it. It's like, no, just have a nice wee house, a nice modest home that's yours, and you can say it's yours, and that's it. I mean, that's all you'd need. And so much fucking walking. Jesus, no wonder Diana used to go about Buckingham Palace in fucking roller skates. I mean, it was just that so ridiculously huge. It's the only
Maybe the Queen has like a Segway.
Yeah.
That's how she gets from room to room. She gets on a little Segway and tootles about.
Yeah. That'd be
Philip,
funny.
I'm just going down to the purple drawing room. And then just hovers down the corridor.
Philip, I'm just off to kill some pheasants and drink swan's blood, and
I'm just off to kill some swans because I'm the only person in the United Kingdom that's allowed to because I own them all through some bullshit law from the 18th century.
They're, in quotations, protected by the Queen. Yeah, we know what you're up to, Lizzie. We know what you're up to. It's that funny quote from David Mitchell on Would I Lie to You? It's like, David, they would break your arm famously. That's what they do. They break your arm and then the Queen eats them.
I like the idea that they're protected actually by the Queen.
Yeah,
so,
she appears
on the Thames or something with a rifle and trying to shoot a swan, and then she just there's like a flash of movement in the distance through your sight. You're like, what was that? And you pull the sight away from your eye, and the Queen's just stood in front of you with a sword. It's like, get away from my swans!
I may have the body of a frail and weak woman, but I have a big fucking shotgun. Oh, that's funny. Jesus, we haven't really talked about...
No, we haven't. We talked a lot about politics and the Queen.
And the monarchy. Hi, Disney. Don't remake this one for money, please.
Yep. I think that's one thing that really does annoy me about this current trend of Disney making live-action remakes, is not only are they all invariably worse than the originals, but why would you remake a good film into, like, let's just say you can't control who's in the film.
Okay.
And it's going to be a case of rolling the dice, and just whatever you get is whatever you get. Because that's essentially what Disney are doing. They're just rolling the dice and getting a film that's, I don't know, say it's got a 60% chance of being good.
Yeah.
And then you're getting either a good film, a very good film, or a not very good film, or whatever. Why would you roll the dice on what is already an incredible film, instead of rolling the dice on a film you've already made that wasn't very good?
Yeah.
But saying, okay, well, this is what made it not very good. Let's get better writers, a different team of set designers, a different... Why would you not roll the dice there instead? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And another thing, why do actors take so much money? I'm an actor, right? But let's see with Robert Downey Jr. or someone like that who get something ridiculous, like 70 million a film.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you just use that money? If that's what you're getting, if that's what the film's been allocated, then why wouldn't you use that to make it a better film?
Yes, precisely. That's the only good reason I've come across for that, I think I've said this before on the podcast, is Keanu Reeves. Famously, he negotiates sort of very, very high prices for himself, and then gives a lot of it to charity. Like, I think he got paid £70 million, or $70 million, I suppose, for the first Matrix film. Yeah. Then he donated $50 million of it to charity and kept $20 million.
Wow.
And he said, well, this is just what I need to live off until I die. And now the only reason he negotiates very, very high prices is, I think, it's some kind of weird film industry nonsense about how the amount that a stunt performer is paid depends upon the person they're standing in for, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, I think they're paid proportionally relative to the salary of the person they're standing in for, if that makes sense.
That's kind of fucked up.
It's incredibly fucked up. And you consider things like stunt performers don't get Oscars or BAFTAs or anything like that.
No, they don't.
There's no recognition in the industry for that, which is absurd.
It's so stupid. They're doing most of the fucking work.
Precisely, yes. Like, as much as
unless you're Tom Cruise, obviously.
Oh God, Tom Cruise. And in a strange way, I would love to meet Tom Cruise, just because I think he'd be an utter fanatic. It'd just be such a bizarre experience to meet him. I remember reading this thread on, I think it was Reddit or Twitter or something. And it was somebody that had worked in like a fairly minor production capacity on a film that Tom Cruise was in, and they'd had sort of a 5-minute chat with him while they were making a coffee, and he was just very interested in how they were making the coffee and how they took their coffee, but like to a strange degree. So it was like, oh wow, so you're putting milk in the coffee now? It's well, this is half and half, Tom, and that's what I'm putting into the coffee. Oh yeah, wow, yeah, okay, wow. And then they just got so do you take sugar in the coffee? Yeah, I put in sort of a teaspoon of sugar and then I stir it until it's dissolved. Oh wow, yeah, wow, that's really good, yeah. But it was like, really, it's just reading this thread, it's just so bizarre.
Does he think that that's how does he think that's how, you know, this person will be swayed into joining Scientology? It's like, you make the coffee this way and you've got him. He's yours forever. He goes to the Scientology meeting and whoever it is making the coffee the exact same way, and they're like, hey, I make it that way as well. This is a great place, by the way. Don't know why he's a Scottish guy with a sort of nasally up there voice, but you know.
It was Mac from Chicken Run who's been converted to Scientology.
Thrust! I went over my calculation.
Oh God.
Funny.
I think I might have run out of CRQs, mate.
I think I have as well.
Since we're somehow.
I think we ran out about 18 minutes ago. But I think we ran out 18 minutes ago with CRQs. But yeah, it's a good film.
It's a good film. Patrick Warburton's good. David Spade's good. Eartha Kitt's good. All of them are good.
That's my closing statement.
It's a good film.
It's a good film. It's alright. It's not bad. Chicks, it ticks the boxes, floats the boat, pushes the raft out.
Packs your suitcase.
Boils the kettle.
Makes your tea.
Grates the cheese.
Floats your goat.
Grates the cheese.
Grates the cheese. Oh, that's great.
No!
Anyway, right. Let's do some actual closing statements.
That was it. I'm serious. I don't have anything else. It's a good film. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, this is a really good film. It's an absolute pick-me-up with just stupid humour throughout, including my personal favourite. Well, you've got me. By all accounts, that doesn't make any kind of sense. My personal favourite, and I utterly adore this film. I would highly recommend it to anybody who has or hasn't watched it. It's really good.
I agree. Well, that was Harry Styles' Dress Politics. Oh yeah, and The Emperor's New Groove as well. Thrown in at the end there just for some, just to even out a wee bit.
Yeah, and AOC's Twitch channel, weirdly got a mention.
Yeah. Should we do some shameless shilling now?
Yeah, let's do some shameless worshipping of the capitalist machine.
Yeah.
I'm going to rub my hands together like a greedy capitalist. That's better. Money. If only I had some.
Or like Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob.
I can't do a good impression of his voice.
SpongeBob! There you go.
I like money.
Money. There you go.
That's perfect. Love it.
Yep. Contact me if you need any impressions done, folks. I'm on Instagram at O'Hiram. I'm on Facebook at Daniel K Actor. I'm on Twitter at Kerzo2000. What are you on, Lewis?
I am on Instagram at Lewis_Brindley. I'm on Twitter at LewisBrindley4, and I have a Facebook page called Lewis Brindley. Also, Daniel Kerr, I don't know if you know this, but the show has a Facebook page too called Shouting Into the Void.
Really?
Yes, it does.
Holy
it's almost
shit.
as though we planned that and made it happen ourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, the show does have a Facebook page. Go and give us a like and a follow, and you'll keep up to date with all the news about the show. And you can post there, maybe. It's very well known that I'm not a Facebook aficionado, but you can take a look.
Please do. We are on Podomatic, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we have a YouTube channel, we're on Deezer, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Amazon Podcasts. Did you like that other platform we're on, Lewis? We're also on.
I particularly like that. Yeah, I didn't know we were on there. Have you arranged for that?
Oh yes. I've spoke to the CEO and the chief technical officer, a Wibble. We also have a PayPal donate button, so anything you can spare, anything at all, would be greatly appreciated. We also have Patreon, and we want to thank our wonderful patrons, Chloe,
thank you.
Darius,
thank you.
Sophie,
thank you.
Peter,
thank you.
Aditya,
thank you.
And of course Richard.
Thank you. But we've got another patron, Daniel.
We certainly do. Cameron!
His name is Cameron.
Yes.
We love a bit of Cameron. He's a new patron. I was going to download an air horn app, but I'm sorry, Cameron, I forgot. So please bear with this terrible impression of an air horn. There we go. That's my impression of an air horn. Thank you very much for becoming a patron, Cameron. And thank you very much to all of our other patrons too. You make the podcast possible, and it means the absolute world to have your support.
Definitely. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, last week we introduced a new thing that we're doing. It's called Mellow Minutes, where Lewis and myself jump on our Patreon's Discord server, and we all just have a chat. We react to some trailers, just have a nice time with our patrons. If that's something that interests you, along with all the other benefits you get, go on, have a look, become one, and join our little community. It's lovely.
It is indeed.
We also have merch on Teespring and Redbubble. We sell t-shirts, tote bags, jumpers, all manner of different things, mugs. Go and have a look. Go see if anything tickles your fancy. Even if you're not going to buy anything, just nice to browse here and there,
Indeed.
So yeah, cheers. And last but not least, we are partnered with a fantastic company called Number 12 Crochet Avenue, and Lewis has some gleaming things to say about them, all of which are true.
Indeed I do. Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a wonderful crochet company run by my wonderful wife, in which she crochets things and she's really good at it. Recently she's just finished a Christmas thing, which is now with the person that it has been sold to, and it's really adorable. It's a little mini advent calendar with little stockingy sock things. Yeah, stocking, that's the word for it, right?
Stocking, yeah.
Yeah, stockings. Little mini stockings. There's like 25 of them in a little advent calendar. It's dead cute. And she makes absolutely amazing things. And she runs the Instagram at Number 12 Crochet Avenue. So go and take a look. It would mean the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, that was The Emperor's New Groove.
Indeed it was.
Yeah. So next week we're obviously gonna do The Boys. We apologise again for not doing it this week, but we'll do it next week, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. And yeah,
indeed. Thank you very much for listening.
We'll see you, hear you, smell you, inflict tyrannical rule on you next time.